Hi guys, it's me, Fireclouds. Before we get into today's video, I must say that there are cases of threats and death and also violence, so if you're sensitive to either three of those things, I suggest you get off this video. Thank you! After I post this video, I might make a little introduction video, maybe an hour after, I'm not sure, but without further ado, let's just get right into the video! Yay! The autumn air was cold and stiff, like always when the sun peeked over the orange tree leaves. A tall, dark-red figure stood calmly on the center rock, looking down at the dry grass below him as he waited for the rest to gather. A stunning white dragon pounced onto the boulder next to the red, skinny dragon, placing a pink paw on his shoulder. "Hey, Greed," the white dragon said softly, shifting closer to the pile of red bones. "How's being the traveling group's leader going?" "It's boring," Greed said, his thin tail lashing. "Not enough drama." Greed's words froze as his piercing red eyes drifted to the nursery tent. Two small dragons barreled out from the shade of the tent, an older, lavender one following behind closely. "Look at these cute hatchlings," the white dragon giggled, nudging Greed softly to draw his attention. "They're acceptable." "Just acceptable," Greed hissed slowly. "That's it. Don't make me too drawn to those squabbling lizards, Birch." Birch didn't respond to the cruel words from her own mate. Sure, he was a grumpy skeleton with a name of harm. She didn't mind. It was the best mate she could possibly have. Without warning, Greed hopped off the boulder and stalked over to the two hatchlings, not even acknowledging the lavender one who took care of them. "You," Greed pointed his sharp talons at the darker grey one. "What's your name?" "Hey, what about me?" the lighter one said, almost offended. "How come he gets all the attention?" The darker one glanced at his brother mockingly. "Because I'm more prettier than you." The two brothers cut out their playful insults when Greed stomped his hind legs into the ground with a loud thud. "Answer my question," Greed snarled at the dark grey one. "Carl, and this is my brother, Charcoal. What's your name?" "I didn't ask for the name of that weaker thing," Greed hissed, making Charcoal jump and hide behind the lavender dragon. "Oh, sorry," Cole squeaked, tucking his stubby tail between his hind legs. "I didn't mean to be mean. It won't happen again." Greed only poured more fear into the small hatchling's eyes. "Do you know what happens to dragons who don't listen to their leader?" Greed hissed, shooting a smirk of pure evil at the poor hatchlings. "Follow me, and don't waddle. Or speak." Greed stomped over the tail flick. Cole followed reluctantly, shooting worried eyes at his brother. "Don't worry, Cole. I'll come with you." Charcoal leaped to Cole's side. Then the two brothers followed the skinny leader. Once they stopped, all they could hear was the roaring of the river's currents. Would they have to do work? That wasn't too bad. "Listen up, lizards," Greed sat, tail gesturing for the tiny dragons to sit closer. "If you don't know what this place is, it's the rushing waters. And if you don't follow orders—" Greed swiveled his neck to check his surroundings, eyes wandering into the vegetation for witnesses, only to reveal none. "You will need to do work for months." Cole shot a hopeful glance at Charcoal, who wanted to tell his brother he was okay, but was said not to talk. Greed pushed Cole closer to the river, shooting a glare and a threat at Charcoal. "I didn't say for you to come, but you can watch." Charcoal sighed silently once the red skeleton turned his eyes away from his own figure. "What do I have to do, sir, great, powerful leader?" Cole squeaked, catching his own stumbling feet from tipping himself into the waves. "Clean." Greed chucked a pile of dirty fabric in front of the trembling hatchling's small talons. "Miss any stain, and you'll have to prepare the stumps for the group's daily breakfast, lunch, and dinner. Then you'll feed off their crumbs. Get to cleaning!" Greed yowled loudly, which made Cole start scrubbing in an instant. "You didn't have to be so mean, let alone to a hatchling who isn't even a full year old." Chuckle felt like trying to talk to the intimidating shadow of blood-red scales, but he couldn't just talk when Greed said don't talk. Maybe he should ask for permission in the kindest way he knew? Chuckle shifted closer to Greed, just enough so he could tap Greed on his fin tail. "Speak," Greed said, his voice dripping with a plan to come in present time. "May I have permission to talk, please?" Chuckle stammered, expecting a harsh no, but Greed just watched Cole struggle and snarled a "Fine. Don't bore me to death with whatever stupidity you're going to yap at me. Charcoal let out the breath he was secretly holding. How much work will he have to do? Charcoal yipped, voice catching on his own shaky breath. Enough to make him exhausted for years, Greed snarled, ears lifting slightly to hear Charcoal's rapid heartbeat over the roars of the violent stream. Roughly a month or two. Hopefully your idiot brother keeps misbehaving so he can struggle for the whole of the upcoming winter, Greed snapped, purposely snarling his cruel words loud enough for the cold to hear and trample in his own place. That wasn't very nice, Charcoal yipped, then instantly curling his tail over his snout, bracing for the impact of Greed's insults. Just because you're the hatchling I actually enjoy, I'm not going to be mean. Just know that sometimes in this cruel world, and in your trembling, miserable life, you have to be mean in some way. So don't disappoint me by being too nice to the wrong dragons. What did Greed just say? Charcoal blinked a few times, tail shifting to rest on his paws and nod his nose. That was the first time Greed was nice? Charcoal was told by his mother that Greed was always a big and grumpy bully, but he just told Charcoal something his own mother would say. You should head back now. Foxglove might be worried about you, Greed said, nudging Charcoal back to the direction of camp. Charcoal reluctantly turned to the bushes, but turned back. Can I stay a bit longer, please? Charcoal said slowly, almost like he was begging. Greed just nodded. Stay near the bush, though, Greed said, eyes glued to the small, struggling hatchling. Charcoal nodded silently, watching Greed stand steadily and stalk over to Cole. Whoops, my claw slipped, Greed smirked, laughing like a psychopath as the red dragon shoved his hind leg into Cole's side, watching the hatchling lose their footing and fall into the water with a loud splash. Cole wailed loudly. Help! Cole flapped his small talons in the water, trying to grab a grip on something as Over drowned out his screeches for help and watched the tiny thing away in an instant. Charcoal watched the scene unfold, Cole drowning, Greed laughing, and hearing his own heartbeat get ripped out of his chest and yell in his ear. Charcoal bawled loudly. Cole! Charcoal yelped, ready to pounce into the currents and save his brother, even though he couldn't swim. Greed slammed his claws into Charcoal's tail, getting blood on his claws. Listen up, you pathetic rat! Greed snapped, watching Charcoal desperately attempt to crawl to the water, but couldn't. Tell anyone about this, and you'll be like your foolish brother. Understood? Keep your jaws shut. Greed lifted his now bloody claws, watching Charcoal dart off toward camp.